Tesla's all-new redesigned Model 3 is launching really soon with a ton of new features, but what exactly is going to happen to the beloved Model Y? Is Tesla's most popular model going to get some really big upgrades? Is it going to get refreshed? Is it going to fall behind the all-new shiny Model 3 and Cybertruck launching soon? Or is Tesla working on a secret refresh for this model that's sort of a stopgap, giving us some of the bigger refreshed items now and waiting until sometime next year to give us the rest of the stuff that you probably don't want anyways? Let's talk about the 10 or so big changes Tesla has planned for the Model Y, what they are, when we should see them, what could be coming from the Model 3 in a good way and a bad way, and should you buy a Model Y now or should you wait for the refresh model that could be coming soon? What's going on with the Model Y? Let me tell you everything you need to know and also tell you some exclusive news that you haven't heard anywhere else. And also a huge thanks to Incogni for sponsoring this video. When it comes to the Model Y, Tesla is in a super unique position, and that is that they kind of don't need to do anything. Although the Model Y is, for all intents and purposes, just a larger version of the Model 3, exact same design DNA, it is by far Tesla's most popular vehicle. If you look at the numbers around the world, the Model Y is selling like hotcakes. In fact, it's not just like the best-selling EV or the best-selling SUV, but it's the best-selling car. Period. Its hatchback design makes it way more versatile than the Model 3, feels a bit more airy and roomy inside than the Model 3, it's super fun to drive, and with recent price cuts and federal tax incentives, it's honestly a really good deal right now too. Like right now, the Model Y starts at $47,740 for the base model, and that is before incentives, and for that price, you're getting a really great car at a really great value. It's very versatile, it's a lot of fun to drive, it's got incredible tech, it has the new Hardware 4 camera system, and is a really great car. But when you sort of look at the news and the headlines and YouTube videos and hear all this stuff about the new refresh Model 3, starts to make the Model Y seem a little bit old. And on one hand, this is sort of an unfair comparison. The Model Y debuted, seems sort of like a blur now, sort of in the spring of 2020 when certain economic and global things were happening. So many people don't remember. I think it like launched around March of 2020. So that'll give you some context on when that vehicle came out. So it's about 3 or so-ish years old right now. The Model 3, on the other hand, debuted back in, I want to say 2017, 2018. It's been quite some time, so that car was definitely in need of a refresh. And while the Model 3 is going to be getting a pretty big refresh, the same can't be said for the Model Y, at least right now. So let me tell you what's coming to the Model 3. I'll tell you about all those new features. But first, let me give you my perspective as a Model Y owner who owns a long-range Model Y, been driving it every day for the last 18 months. Let me tell you about some of the things I don't like about the car, or specifically, if a refresh Model Y was to come, what specific things I'd like to see, and I'm curious, let me know down below if you agree or disagree. The biggest one for me, something I use all the time, is the frunk. And the nice thing about the Model Y is that, well, it's got a frunk. This is a really nice front trunk area. Obviously, you've got a lot of nice space in here, but the biggest thing for me is a powered front trunk. We have competitors on the market who have cars at similar prices who have this. Obviously, it's nice to have the powered trunk, but the frunk as it is sort of annoying because you've got to kind of do the manual closing. You've got to make sure you close it just right, as I showed in my previous video. You can only open it from inside on the screen, or you can use the mobile app, or I guess if you've got the key fob. And on the outside, I can't think of anything specific that I'd want except for one thing, and that is gonna be a front bumper camera. And the reason that that is so important is because that's supposed to be sort of the secret sauce. Sorry for the camera adjustment there. That's supposed to be the secret sauce in making a 360-degree top-down view available in the car. On the outside, I mean, besides, you know, maybe a design tweak, the cars already have upgraded cameras with Hardware 4. They already have more cameras with Hardware 4. Design, colors, all that still looks really good. But powered frunk, that's a big one for me. But let's move inside and talk about some wish list interior upgrades. Now, as exciting as this new Model Y update is going to be, something that's not exciting at all, something you're going to dread, is all of the spam calls and texts and emails you're going to get if you do any sort of research into the financing options available to you to buy this all-new Tesla. I mean, these days, it seems like if you enter your info anywhere, whether it be with a car dealer, subscribing to an online newsletter, doing any sort of online shopping, it just sort of leaks. It gets online, your personal info just sort of starts floating around online. And the worst part about it is, not only could this be a serious invasion of your privacy and this could be some really sensitive info, but you might not even know it's happening like right now. It's sort of a horrible thing to think about, but luckily we don't have to worry because Incogni is here to keep us safe, secure, and keep our data off the web. And also here to sponsor this video. Incogni tracks down the data brokers distributing your personal info online, and then they contact them on your behalf to get them to remove your info from the web. And personally, this was really an eye-opening experience for me because I realized that it's way more than just like my name and email address floating around online. It's things like my physical address. It could be my credit card numbers, my social security number. It could be my phone number, which is linked to a lot of online accounts. Luckily for us, Incogni could not make this process any simpler. It's really, really simple to get started. Basically, you make an account, you give them some of the info that you want to make sure is tracked down online, and then they handle the rest. It's totally automatic, super simple. They get in touch with the data brokers and get that data removed. And also what's nice here is that it's not a one-time thing. It's not a one and done. This information is constantly floating around the web. New stuff is being added and removed all the time. So Incogni is going to be constantly searching and looking to make sure your info is not floating around in different depths of the internet. And getting started couldn't be simpler. To learn more and check it out for yourself today, hit the link down below. And the first 100 people who use the code Robert Rosenfeld will get 60% off Incogni. That code is Robert Rosenfeld on screen here for 60% off Incogni for the first 100 people. So if you want to learn more, check it out for yourself today, which I definitely recommend you do. Do not wait. Get started right now. Hit the link down below to learn more or head to incogni.com/Robert Rosenfeld. Now, obviously, we have rumors that Tesla is going to be removing the wood trim inside of the newer Model 3, so that would be expected to move, and I kind of agree. I think the wood looks a little dated. The one thing I'd love to see in the Model Y, which actually is a rumor for the Model 3, is some sort of instrument display, some sort of actual display here. Not a heads-up display, though Tesla could do that, but I'm talking a physical screen here that would give you information like the speedometer and autopilot information. It is so nice on the Model S and Model X to have that separated, to be able to have way more screen real estate on the screen, especially since this is the smaller 15-inch screen as compared to the S, the X, and the Cybertruck. Being able to have more screen real estate to utilize as much as possible would be really, really important, and that would be nice with the screen. I feel like you really do really lose so much screen real estate to the stuff you've got to have: speedometer, charge level, navigation. Being able to get rid of this and have full access to this screen would be really, really nice. The other thing I'd love to see that is a standard feature on the S and the X that would be a nice option on the 3 and the Y is a rotating, tilting screen. I guess I should say tilting, not rotating, but the ability to swivel the screen from a center position to the left and the right. Again, it's in the Model S and X, and I understand that is a more premium feature, but after using it for a little bit on a test drive, that would be really nice to have to this screen. I know that you can get aftermarket mounts and stuff like that, but just sort of stock from the factory, it's in a fixed position, so that would be nice to see. I don't think there's anything I can think of that I'd really want to change. I guess the one other thing that's a rumor for the 3 that I guess would be nice to see for the Y is some sort of rear screen, though I find this a little hard to imagine because I feel like this would be more expensive, and excuse the mess. I've got a 1.5-year-old, so that's kind of what the back of my car looks like, but having some sort of screen back there would be nice. Again, that's a rumor for the 3. Seems a little ambitious since it seems like that would be more expensive, but that's something that is being at least floated around the internet right now. But like I said, the Model Y is a really, really good car. You've got a lot of cargo space in the back here. You've got a really good audio system. You've got the hardware 4 system. You've got the Ryzen processor. There's a lot to love about this car. So Tesla doesn't have to change much with this car to make things better. But like I said, having that front bumper camera, having the sort of improved interior, having some sort of instrument display would be a nice thing. I don't think it's gonna happen, but that'd be my pick. Refreshed interior, a larger screen would be nice, but I think really what the Model 3 is going to give us with that refresh is stuff that us Model Y owners would really want. It's the powered frunk, it's the extra camera on the front, it's the refreshed interior, stuff like that. Model Y is a fantastic car, and hopefully we should be getting some updates, upgrades, and new features very soon. Now, with all that being said, I'm sure many of you guys are typing furiously in the comments down below that most of that stuff is coming with the Model 3. And yes, the Model 3 refresh is going to bring basically everything I mentioned. You're getting the powered frunk, you're getting ventilated seats, you're getting the new interior, you're getting the new design changes, you're getting a better sound system, ambient lighting on the inside. You're getting a whole lot of stuff with that Model 3 refresh, which is great. But we're not talking about the Model 3, we're talking about the Model Y. Obviously, the Model 3 refresh is coming basically any day now. It's supposed to come around September or October, but the Model Y is a bit of a different story. And that sort of leads us to the good news and the bad news in this video. Good news is that yes, the Model Y is going to be refreshed. According to Reuters, it's called Project Juniper. Tesla's actively working on it, and we should be getting some new features. Though I will say, two bits of bad news is that one, we don't exactly know what Tesla is working on with that refresh. We're assuming, making a big assumption, that because the Model 3 and Model Y share so much of the same design DNA that everything the Highland refresh gets, the Model Y would get. So new front and back, new interior upgrades, sound system, ventilated seats, all that stuff is probably a safe assumption. Though the bad news is that according to the Reuters report and other independent Tesla insiders, this Model Y refresh, unlike the Model 3, is not coming anytime soon. The original Reuters report that broke the story of Project Juniper says we likely wouldn't see that refresh until the end of 2024, maybe the fall, if not the very end of the year in 2024. That also sort of aligns with Tesla Scope. They've been a great source of information for the Project Highland refresh. They say the Model Y refresh probably wouldn't come until 2024 or 2025. This is news they just tweeted sort of in a thread I was in just a couple of days ago, so maybe a little bit of new info here. You're likely going to be waiting at least a year, 18 months, if not longer, for a Model Y refresh, which sort of makes this stuff all a little less exciting. Now, I will say that there were a couple of reports floating around online of a stopgap sort of mid-cycle secret refresh that would bring some of these new features of the Model Y, but would reserve some of them for later on. And from what I had read, it said that Tesla was probably going to focus first on the interior upgrade, so they would give you the new ventilated seats and the new dash and all those interior upgrades first, and then upgrade the design, the exterior parts of the Model Y later on in the end of 2024. I kind of have to put a very heavy grain of salt with that information because we just don't know if it's going to happen. Though we did hear from Drive Tesla Canada a couple of weeks ago that the Model Y line at Giga Texas did go down for a little bit. So that at least is coming from a credible news outlet and source. But we just don't know if that secret refresh is coming. Does make a lot of sense to give us something before the end of 2024 or 2025. But we just don't know if that's really going to happen or not. And we probably won't know any more on that until sometime early to mid 2024. But with that being said, let me make it very clear that the Model Y is an amazing car as it stands today. In fact, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the Model Y is selling like hotcakes, selling so well that Tesla's in the position that they don't really have to do anything. There is so much demand for this car. It is selling all around the world. So Tesla could sit back, relax, let the car continue to sell, and then make changes when they want to. And I already know there will be questions down below in the comments of this video of should I buy now or should I wait? And I'll give you my piece of advice for those of you looking to buy a Model Y. I think that at this point, unlike the Model 3, there are more reasons to buy the Model Y right now than there are to wait for a couple of big reasons. One is that this vehicle already has hardware 4, so you're getting the latest and greatest camera system that Tesla has to offer. That's not in the 3 right now, will be in the refresh model, so you do have that advantage right now. Also, remember the federal tax credits and incentives right now are very, very good, so you don't want to miss those. They are obviously subject to change, I think, in the beginning of 2024, so keep that in mind. Tesla has a notice on their site that these will change, so keep that in mind as you make your financial planning. And also, like I mentioned, Model Y is still a fantastic car. Yes, when the Model 3 refresh comes out, it's going to look a bit more dated. It's not going to have the more advanced tech, might not have some of the nice creature comfort interior refresh upgrade features and stuff. That was a really long sentence, but it's still a really great car. Really great tech, AMD Ryzen processor. You've got everything you need for full self-driving and the FSD beta once Tesla enables that on hardware 4. Still a really, really, really great car that you are going to love. And if you want a Tesla, basically anytime within the next 18 months, I would just say get one now, enjoy the car. Don't wait for what could or could not come down the road. On the other hand, if you live and breathe like I do for the latest and greatest technology, and you have the ability to wait and, see how the tax credits could or could not change and how prices could or could not change, if you're okay with that and you're okay sort of taking that risk, then by all means, wait for next year to see what could come. Again, we're looking at end of 2024, fall of 2024 at the earliest. So you're going to be waiting quite some time, probably later, knowing Tesla's timetable on how they do things. But you are going to get a redesigned car. You're going to get all the new interior stuff. So if you do want the cutting edge, bleeding edge stuff, and you're okay waiting a while, then wait for the Model Y because they refreshes in the works. Though again, according to what we know, you're probably going to be waiting quite some time. So I'm curious, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Your thoughts on the Model Y refresh? I've also heard a couple of interesting theories that Tesla should make a Model Y Plus, or like a Model X Lite, basically make a Model Y version that's a little bit more expensive, that has some of the creature comforts of the X without the more expensive stuff like the Falcon Wing doors. Let me know your thoughts on that down below. We can discuss all refresh news. And also, doing a giveaway in this video, you've got a chance to win a $25 Amazon gift card or a free Tesla t-shirt. You can win either. All you've got to do is 3 simple things. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. That's it. All you've got to do. I appreciate it, you guys. Thank you so much. Good luck to all you entering. I'll pick a winner in a week. As always, I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. I'm Robert Rosenfeld, and I'll see you all in the next one.